all mothers here today to please stand for our blessing. Your love is our blessing for a lifetime together. Your love is our blessing for a lifetime. And will grandmothers who are not already standing, please stand. Your love has embraced generations together. Your love has embraced generations. And let's remember mothers no longer living on earth, so to say. We call them to mind and declare your love is an enduring presence in our life. Together, your love is an enduring presence in our lives. And let's honor all loving individuals in our lives who have lived from the mother principle of caring, have expressed care and love and encouragement to all of us. We affirm for them, your love for others has carried the mother principle of unconditional love beyond family ties. I'll repeat. Your love for others has carried the mother principle of unconditional love beyond family ties. Now you may be seated. And I light these candles in front of the lectern in honor and in memory of all mothers and our sharing life with them in the past, the present, and the future. And I invite you throughout this day, throughout the days to come, to remember these qualities of time, to honor Mother in memories of the past, in the presence of now, and in the future that will always hold her love for you. Now, perhaps you've been shopping this week, or making dinner reservations, or reflecting on your mother who's no longer in this physical world. In 1914, the American tradition of Mother's Day became official on the second Sunday of May. This was a declaration made by President Wilson. Notice that the celebration is actually written, when you see it written down, in singular possessive, Mother's Day. That is to honor individual mothers, not mothers as a great clan or crowd, but an individual. Celebrations with Mom and special treats and gifts are a way to acknowledge Mother's Day, this celebration. As we gather here in a beloved community with a spiritual intention, let's consider ways that we can give our mothers blessings and enduring gifts. Not just a meal out on the town that will pass, not just gifts that she may use for a while or flowers that'll be fresh for a few days, but enduring, lasting gifts. A thought, a feeling, a commitment to the full truth and being of the mother. Charles Fillmore said, we all have the power to bless. A word we throw around a lot in unity, blessing, blessing, blessing. We have to pay attention to what it means. And Mr. Fillmore said, to bless something, such as our offering today, to bless something or a person is to see their full value. That's why he called our donations in Sunday services love offerings, not because it sounded sweet, but because it was a blessing that recognized the freely given gifts were an act of love to support a ministry or other activity. So to bless is to see this full truth in our mother. And we're challenged. I talked to a colleague the other day, and she said, "Oh, it's Mother's Day again. Oh, this is such a stress to do. It sets people off emotionally in the service." Well, that's fine. Sometimes we need a little release of a few tears. But she said whenever she did a Mother's Day service, it was kind of like walking on eggshells, not knowing exactly. So we'll be honest that some of us, at times, perhaps Mother didn't meet our expectations. And I loved our opening song that Holly led us and had something to do with the words in that opening song, but that it expressed recognizing that we deserve love. We deserve Mother's love. But we also offer love in return. Such love in any relationship, but especially with Mom, is a two-way street. We expect to receive because the mother is such an archetype of the great provider in our life. So many of us have tremendous expectations. Sometimes I don't think any one human being could meet all these expectations. But we also remember the other side of the coin, and that it is ours as a human being to also give love in return, not just always seek it. So this morning I wanted to take inspiration from some examples in the life of Jesus Christ, who we declare as our way shower, the one who shows us the path of life toward our good, our truth, our love. Mary gave birth to Jesus in Bethlehem. We often remember the story told every Christmas time. The shepherds in the high fields came down to the village, inspired by what the angelic messengers had declared to them. According to the Gospel of Luke, when they saw the mother and child, they made known what had been told to them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed. And Mary, most of all, treasured all these words, all these prophetic statements. She held them in her heart and pondered them throughout her life. To me, that meant that she saw the potential of this holy child, and she committed to always carry that in her soul and continually expand in her expectation of all that this child could be for the world. I remember my own mother's last words to me in her final breath. "I love you beyond all conception." And I believe she meant to say to me that she saw me as being more than just her son. She saw me as a creation of God with great potential, and that I would do things that she would never see in this life. Great things. Hopefully, I've not been a disappointment. In Mary's culture, at that time, a child was called the Son of God to express great expectations in this new child. Unlimited good for this child to live into. According to the Gospel of Matthew, when Jesus grew to adulthood, Rather than his truth being seen by Mary, Jesus in turn saw the truth of his mother. In a very curious episode that is recorded, which has puzzled people and puzzled many ministers how to bring some relevant truth out of it, Jesus was speaking to the people, and someone came and said, "Your mother's waiting outside to talk to you." And Jesus responded with this curious statement, "Who is my mother?" Well, I kind of wonder how Mary felt if she heard that. "Who is my mother?" And then he responded, "My mother is the one who does the will of God in heaven." So he saw the great work of Mother Mary. She had a high calling to do the will of God. And it made me think of our mothers as they love us, feed us, clothe us, care for us for years. Isn't that the will of God for our good? They're carrying out the nurturance, provision, love, protection, support, building self-esteem and confidence in the child. They are doing the will of God. Our mothers fill this high calling to love and help us through life, certainly. And we can call this, as Jesus did, fulfilling the Word of God. My third example, returning to Luke's Gospel, we recall the story of the sisters, Mary and Martha, who were friends of Jesus. They welcomed Jesus into their home. Mary sat at the feet of Jesus, listening to his powerful words of truth. Meanwhile, Martha was anxious about all the hospitality arrangements. Perhaps she was planning a big dinner party in Jesus' honor. Martha came to Jesus and said, "Lord, why don't you care that my sister is leaving me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to get in the kitchen and help me." Jesus replied, "Oh, Martha, Martha, you are so anxious and concerned about a million details. But really, only one thing matters. Mary has chosen that one thing, and I won't take it away from her." I take this story as an indication that we must remember our mothers have a high spiritual path of their own to follow. They're not simply servants of our families, doing all the household duties. A gift to mother is to remember and respect her time out for rest, for inspiration, and to build her own dreams in this life. I remember a number of years ago after my mother's passing, finding a bundle of letters from 1943. It was her correspondence back and forth with my father, they were in different cities, about their planned wedding in December of 1943. And there were lots of stories in there, but one day I was reading a letter and it just hit me. Wow, my mother and my father had a life before I was born. They had dreams of their own. Their whole life was not focused on giving birth to James and then caring for all his needs forever. They had a life of their own and dreams of their own. Did I honor that? Did I respect that through the years? Well, hopefully in some degree, my mother followed me into unity. There's an old story of Rose Kennedy, the matriarch of the Kennedy family. On one important occasion, the family was preparing and naturally sought the advice of their mother. She said, "Not now. I'm getting ready to go to daily Mass." They replied, "For once, can't you skip Mass and help us out now? We've got something important we're doing." She said, "That's out of the question. I do not skip Mass." She set an example the family, I'm sure, always remembered. It may be expressed by the words of Jesus, "Seek first the kingdom of God, and then all other things, all the details, will fall into place." Do we give Mother time for her own spiritual quest, her own spiritual work, for the unfoldment, as the Fillmores called it, of Mother's own soul? Or do we just continually seek favors, duties, work from her? With these gospel stories, how do we find the right way to honor our mothers, whether they are still in this world with us or whether they've passed on? Relationships of the heart, relationships of depth, do not live when one member of that relationship passes on and is out of sight. You will always have that inner relationship with them. There is never a time that it ends unless you simply choose to forget, choose to not remember. We could say that giving her gifts that will endure for her lifetime and for her onward spiritual journey are lasting gifts, gifts of importance, of value. We can learn from Mary, the mother of Jesus, who pondered in her heart, that is maintained in her consciousness, the potential greatness of her newborn child. In turn, we can maintain a consciousness, a mindset of our mother's greatness, of her capacity for far more than simply feeding and clothing us. We learn from the adult Jesus that mother is the one who does the will of God. How can we honor mom as doing the will of God in all her ways? She sets the holy example of love, enduring care, unconditional love. The old cliche says imitation is the best form of flattery or compliment or honor. So can we do our best learning from mom's best? Finally, from Jesus' visit in the home of Mary and Martha, that although mother has her work to do as she cares for the family, she also has her holy work, her work beyond the home, her spiritual quest. So as a gift for mother, can we allow her time and respect for her spiritual path? If she's passed from this world, can we meditate upon, or to use the biblical term, ponder in her heart, her ongoing journey, always? I don't like that phrase, out of sight, out of mind, because she's always in our soul. So our enduring gifts for mother on this Mother's Day can be our understanding, our offering of respect, of honor, and of support. Now, as I said earlier, some of us may hold disappointment that our mothers didn't always, in every way, fulfill our expectations. We can then offer her forgiveness and release from the expectations we held. We can learn to practice motherly love, unconditional love, and support that we might feel we weren't given. So I'll conclude with this idea. It is a great spiritual lesson and accomplishment in life to give out a soul quality that you think you were not given. Do you hear me? Instead of saying, I wasn't given this, I wasn't given this. Okay, you have an opportunity as a spiritual being to turn around and demonstrate and give out to others what you might feel you've missed. You might call it forgiveness, release. There may be a way that you want to make an amend or heal. But give Mom a break. My mother came to a time when I was in college and my father called me and said, your mother needs help. Her drinking has gotten out of hand. You were to pick her up in Houston and drive her to San Antonio to a clinic. And I'll never forget meeting her at the gate of the airport. She was shaking. Honey, you must be terribly disappointed in me. I said, disappointed? When you've shown me what it is to face a problem and deal with it? Disappointment is the last thing I'm experiencing. How can I help? So we drove the long distance to the special clinic. I got her settled in her room. And as I turned to leave, she reached up and took off her strand of pearls and said, honey, will you keep these for me? I won't be needing them here. And as I left, the staff explained that I could write every day, but for the next 30 days, I could not call her or certainly not visit her. And by the time she had left, the time for her to leave, the staff told me, we put her in charge of all the incoming clients. She would show them around. She would welcome them, and she made quite an impact. So my statement to her at the airport, you are no disappointment to me, became fact. She helped many because she saw her challenge and dealt with it. Well, we all have stories of what we've learned from Mother. But I invite you to join me in a moment of silence and stillness. It's the best time to be still and silent before any important deed or project. And so I'm just going to pose this question for you to hold in the silence. What am I willing to give Mother now? Whatever stage of life, whatever your apparent relationship with Mother is, hold for a moment in the silence. I call it wrapping a gift for Mother in the silence, in that inner pondering. So close your eyes if you choose. And just be in the rich stillness and silence that allows you to know God's presence. and reveals what is yours to do. And now with this enduring gift that you have created in your mind and heart, whether your mother is in this sanctuary or not, see that gift and declare, "Thank you, Mother." And gently allow your attention to come back to this sanctuary in which you're seated among your friends. And know that this is an ongoing process you can take forward in the days to come, considering this gift you have created inwardly, a gift that will last, that you offer your mother. Mother's Day is only one day of the year. Our love, our honor, our respect, our care lasts much longer. Thank you, Mother. As you leave today, our ushers will offer you a carnation stem. The carnation is the official, customary flower of Mother's Day. And so as you leave today, take this, put it in a special place at home, and let it remind you in the coming week to remember this gift you have created during this very hour. And mentally, heartfully, you can continue to give that special gift to your mother. And so it is.